Hi everyone, this is Barry Blue. I'm live from the UK and I've got a new CD out, 4-box CD called Out of the Blue, 50 Years of Discovery. And you know, it's gonna go straight to the top of the charts.
Go straight to the top of the charts. Go straight to the top of the charts. From 10 to 1, you got a show number 1 when you go straight to the top of the charts. Top of the charts, top of the charts. That song's gonna climb to the top. When you go straight to the top of the charts. When you go straight to the top of the charts. When you go straight to the top, right to the top. When you go straight to the top of the charts.
Welcome, Barry Blue, to go straight to the top of the charts. And let me tell you, Barry Blue, Every Greek in Australia, 1973, when that song came out, and Dancing on a Saturday Night was number 1 with every Greek in Australia and Australians dancing along out of their new cars.
I wonder why. I wonder if it was the bouzouki. I got a feeling it was.
Because let me tell you, it's definitely the bouzouki, and I'm going to tell you, my background is I'm born in Australia, first generation. My parents were Greek, and it was blaring out of our car radio, and everybody was dancing. And how does it feel to have a song that highlights the bouzouki and is one of the greatest songs ever recorded?
Oh, I love it.
It goes back to Zorba the Greek in 1964. There's no pop song that actually highlights the bouzouki, and to me, you are like a god.
We're not worthy.
I wonder what you're like at 9 o'clock in the evening because you've got a lot of energy, my friend.
No, seriously, Barry, I've got to pay compliments where they're due because in all seriousness, I was 15 years old and it's that song that's in your life and you don't know how happy that makes people even today. It's just one of the greatest songs out there, believe me.
It's a great summer song. I'll give you that. And it is played throughout summers and it's been a very good song for me over the years. And I love the bouzouki. I love all ethnic instruments on my records. I've always tried to do that with, from my first hit. And then I had a hit with Lindsay DePaul. And on that record, we put on it was a gypsy violin. And then when I did Boogie Nights with Heatwave, we did a harp, an acoustic harp to start it. So I've always wanted to feature instruments that other people don't use in my productions. And I had a good mate who had a Greek taverna in a part of London called Chalk Farm. And his name was Andreas Tomazis. And Andreas was a great bouzouki player. And he was always playing on a Tuesday and a Saturday night. And one night we were having a meal together and I said to him, look, I've got this new song that I really, really want something different on it. And I think Zorba the Greek was in my mind as well. And I said to him, look, come down the studio because I'm only 2 miles up the road. Bring your bouzouki. Let's see what happens. And he brought his bouzouki and we went through, what I considered to be a good melody. And he recorded it and the rest is history. And now
I've got to ask you, Barry, have you been to Greece? Have you actually gone to Greece?
Yeah, I love Greece, yeah.
Yeah, but I want to know now, tell me some stories. Have Greeks come up to you and go, Barry, we love your song. It's like part of the Greek culture. Has anybody told you that from the Greek community?
Well, unless I got Barry Brew written across me, they don't know who I am. It's been so long.
But I got to say, those silk pants, they did it. The
really?
Barry Blue, and let me tell you, the 50 years, right, out of the blue now, the big box set that's come out, Please tell everybody about it. What's actually in it?
Well, last year I did something. I did a single album with 10 tracks on it of songs that I'd loved of my own, if you like. You can love your own songs. But these are songs that were special to me, and it was called Boy in the Moon. And then an enterprising record company comes up to me and says, look, you've got this new box set, but why don't you put it together with all your old tunes that everyone loves? Plus, if you've got any unknown gems that you've been working on in lockdown, which I had, in this lockdown we've had, which has been horrendous, it's given creative people time to go through stuff that they've forgotten about. And that's what happened to me. I went and found nearly 20 tracks that I hadn't finished, including my versions of songs like Sugar Me, which was a big hit for Lindsay.
Oh, yes.
And I Eat Cannibals, which I did which was quite a big hit for a group called Toto Coelho. And these are all the original demos I did for these songs. And what we decided to do is put them all on this 4 CD album, which is called Out of the Blue, 50 Years of Discovery. And also it's my 50th year in the business. I've actually been in the business longer than 50 years, but that's long enough.
Now, can I ask you, Barry, have you still got the blue pants and the top that you did for that film clip? Dancing. If you got it dancing on a Saturday night, have you still got the outfit?
There is a funny story about that. I actually gave all my suits away to charity many years ago. And then one of my friends, in a gesture of, I don't know, anyway, he decided to buy them all back. So he gave the money to charity, bought them all back, and one day, and it was at my, it was a big birthday party for me. I think it was my 60th. He comes in, knocks on the door, and he comes in with my suit on. I'd given to charity 20 years earlier, and all his friends came in with all the other suits.
Fantastic! That's brilliant. I love that.
The funniest thing was they actually didn't fit them then, because it was this is 40 years further on, but it was a very funny moment. I have to say. So
you must look after them, Barry. You must look after them.
I did look after them, but I made sure that they went to charity, and then they sold off, for hospices, for hospitals, and that's what I wanted to do.
Yeah, fantastic.
Now, Barry, I want to pass you on to the sensational Sabine, who's going to tell you about your fantastic chart success.
Well, Barry knows all about his hits. I'm just going to reiterate everything, but for everybody out there. So Barry, what happens is that you change your name from green to blue, and then all the songs are hits for you. I mean, in essence, but Dancing on Saturday Night, we know it's such a feel-good number. So number 2 in 1973. Then you've got the remix in 89. That was fabulous. Australia, number 2. Then Do You Want to Dance, 1973. And then you've got School Love. And they just go on and on and on. And then, you're such a fantastic producer too. And as you mentioned, Heatwave. Wow. All these artists, that's just credits. And then you must feel so proud. And, all these things. What a CV. I mean, it's just absolutely glorious.
It's been what's the word for it? I've never stuck to one kind of area in business, in the music business. I love writing songs. I love writing lyrics. I love singing. I love producing. So I kind of can't be pigeonholed. A lot of people say, well, what do you do? And I say, well, I do loads of stuff. I've just run the whole gambit of being in the music business, which I love, for so many years. And, this 50 years anniversary box set is the culmination of all the years I've done in the business. And people have said to me, well, what, that's it now. Surely you're going to retire. Oh, come on.
Why?
Who retires in the music?
Why would you retire? I mean, you're creative. You're highly creative, And I wanted to ask too. I mean, I've got the single Dancing on Saturday Night. Love that. And I just wanted to say, because I watched 3 times in a row last night, Do You Want to Dance? Another upbeat, feel good, happy. Love it. I mean, you must have enjoyed doing that. I mean, I know it's all part of the course. You have to go out there, perform, and look at the business like a teeny bopper idol and all the rest of it. I mean, what were your memories of that? You know, it's just like, it's fabulous.
Well, you know, the strange thing is I never set out to be an artist at all, ever. I always set out to be a songwriter. And along with my co-writer, who was Lindsay DePaul, we all kind of we joined. There was a situation in America called the Brill Building, which was Don Kirshner, who was a very famous American entrepreneur who put together the Monkees and the Archies, and he also looked after a stable of songwriters like Neil Sedaka, Goffin and King, Lieber and Stoller, and he wanted to make that situation happen in the UK. So ATV Music and Don Kirshner started a publishing company, of which Lindsay and I were the first songwriters signed to it in 1971, I think. And our job was to write songs. That was it. We would go in at 9:30 and clock on and clock out at 5:30 and write a tune. And at the end of the week, we all had to kind of take our songs to the A&R department, where they'd all sit down and say, well, show us what you've written and who's this for and who's that for. And we wrote these songs and no one recorded them. So we sat down and we thought, well, what are we going to do with all these songs we've been commissioned to write? Anyway, what happened was Lindsay then decided she'll take her demo to a manager who said, why don't you put that out yourself? It sounds great. And so Sugar Me was released, a massive million seller around the world. And then a year later, I did exactly the same thing with Dancing on a Saturday Night, because every act turned it down, from the Osmonds to whoever.
Really?
No one wanted to record it. So I did it myself. And that's where Andreas Tomazis comes in and puts on his wonderful bouzouki, and the rest is history. And I'm a great fan with the Greek.
Barry, I got to tell you, Barry, what you told me now about Don Kirshner is very important, right? Especially for Monkey fans, because no one knew that he tried to set up something in London, was it? He wanted to do a stable like the Brill Building, and you were the first one to write songs, you and DePaul. That's an unbelievable story. No one knows that.
No, it's all in my biography, which will come out one day, called Barry Who ?
Well, let me tell you, Barry Who, as soon as it comes out, Barry Blue, about Barry Who, you tell us, because we want to tell everybody in the world here first. But not only that, Barry Blue, we want to honor you. So, Sabine, can you tell me about the charts, his number ones? It was the number one in Australia, Dancing on a Saturday Night.
Number 2 in 1973, and there was a remix in 1989. And in Australia, it was number 2 as well. And then, you know, they just go on. Number 7, School Love. And it's just like goes on and on and on, you know, Hot Shot, everything. It never ends, Barry. You know, you're so highly creative. It's wonderful. And then I have to just ask you, Barry, is that because I wanted to know the story about the Palladium and Gene Pitney. Can you enlighten us about that? Because that was something that you approached.
Oh, right. Yeah.
That's a nice, I like that.
I was at school, and my school was about 2-mile walk from the London Palladium. And I was 14 years old. I'd started to write songs. This is pre-Don Kirshner, obviously. This is very, very early in my life. I started to write songs, and I was quite a cocky kid. If I thought something was good and I wanted to get it done, I did it myself. I didn't mess about. So I had my school uniform on, my satchel, and a song that I'd recorded on a little tape recorder at home with my beaten up guitar. And I thought, you know what? This is a great little song for Gene Pitney. I mean, who thinks like that? But so
confident, very confident.
I had confidence. So I had my school uniform on, went to the London Palladium where Gene Pitney was doing a week at the Palladium. Knocked on the door of the stage door, and some burly bouncer came out and he says, "What do you want, son?" I said, "I want to see Mr. Pitney."
Yeah, right.
What do you mean you want to see Mr. Pitney? Go back to school. So I said, "Look, if I can't see Mr. Pitney, can you give him a parcel for me?" And he said, "Well, what is it? I said, it's a song. I've written a song. I said, look, go away, son. Give me your parcel, go away. So he closed the door. The last I heard of it, and then 5 years later, I look at a CD that came out by Gene Pitney, and there was a song on it called Rainmaker Girl, which was a song I'd written.
Yeah.
But underneath it, it said writer unknown. Got my name on it. And there was no forwarding address. So he recorded the song. He apparently tried to find who had written this song. He knew he got it in London, could never find it. And then I contacted him again 5 years later, and he acknowledged it, and he said, I've been looking for you. Where have you been?
That's an unbelievable story there, Barry. Have you ever told that to anybody?
Well, you're the first one.
That's what I'm saying. This is what we want to hear. That's what we want. That is unbelievable. You forgot to write your name, but you gave him the song. That is one of the greatest stories I've ever heard in my life.
Love Gene Pitney. Love Gene Pitney.
Absolutely true. And it came out, and the rest is history. It's on compilations now all over.
Yeah, excellent. Oh, that's wonderful. Thanks for that, Barry. And also your time with the Bee Gees. You had a couple of years where you were working with them.
That was a bit of luck. Yeah, that was a bit of luck. I was playing in a band in the evenings called Spice. I had long hair. This band called Spice later became Uriah Heep. In fact, I left the band about 3 months before they changed their name to Uriah Heep. But it kind of wasn't the music for me. And I was walking by, I think it was Universal's Records, but it wasn't called Universal then. It was called something else. Polygram, that was it. I was walking by Polygram Record, and I bumped into someone who'd come to see our show as the Spice the night before. And he said, oh, you're in that band, aren't you? I said, yeah. He said, I don't like the band. I liked you, but I don't like the band. I said, fine. He said, you're not looking for a job, are you? I said, yeah, I am actually. I'd love to get a day job. He said, well, come with me. And then upstairs sits a guy called Robert Stigwood. Robert Stigwood managed the Bee Gees.
Yeah.
And Robert Stigwood, and I don't know, he sat down. I was telling him about my career. I love writing songs, and I want to work with songwriters and a publishing company. And he says to me, well, come on, I've got a new band called the Bee Gees. We're working down the road. Come and have a chat with them. It was 1966. So they hadn't been broken big yet. And then I did 2 years with them, running backwards and forwards with their songs, listening to all their arguments, buying all their beer. And that was a good grounding, because I learned the craft of writing with perhaps one of the greatest songwriting teams of all time.
Yeah. And also Rod Templeton. I mean, wow. Again, Boogie Nights and the whole Heatwave thing. That again, what an experience as to work with these people.
It was. And Rod Templeton was one of the nicest guys I'd ever met in my life. He was so down to earth. This guy was an absolute songwriting genius. As you know, he wrote Thriller. He wrote Off the Wall. He wrote all the Heatwave records.
Incredible. Yeah.
Baby Come to Me, #1 in America for Patty Austin. Stomp, Yamo Be There. Amazing songwriter.
Bailey. Oh.
Yeah. So, how did I meet him? Again, it was very fortuitous. I'd just come off a run of hits with my own career. And the record company I was signed to wanted to sign this new band, this new Anglo-American funk band, I think they said. And did I want to go and see them? So I went to see Heatwave in a small bar in Victoria. That's Victoria, England, not Victoria. And I saw that there was a queue going like miles. And I went to see this band, and I was in awe of this songwriting genius and the band itself, who are very much in the Earth, Wind and Fire mold. They're really visual. Again, I knocked on the stage door. I said to the guys there, you don't know me. I'm a singer in the UK. My name's Barry Blue. I've had a few hits. I just wanted to congratulate you on such a great evening. You really are a great band. I mean, if ever you ever need any help getting anywhere.
Yeah.
And that's when Rod Temperton comes out, who is a Northern English, just a real nice guy.
Yeah.
He said, come in for a drink. Let's have a chat. We had a chat for about 3 days. And he asked me to produce the first Heatwave album. And
Really.
the rest is history.
Yeah.
Barry, let me say something now. You wrote hits for Celine Dion. You wrote hits for Diana Ross. Tell me, did you knock on their doors as well?
Very good question.
Not shy, are you, Barry? You just like go in there. That's it.
Well,
hey.
you can't do that stuff anymore.
No,
I mean,
those are the times.
We're talking about 45 years ago when things were
The thing is, you have to have a bit of cheek. I've done that. Plastic's done that. We all have a bit of cheek, but it's done with the greatest of intentions, and it usually works out.
It's done with a great deal of awe and admiration for whoever the artist is that you. And I had, these people, these artists that we're talking about, and I'm sure there's so many others, that I was in awe of them. They were kind of gods to me. So to meet up with Gene Pitney years later and to work on Heatwave and to work with Celine Dion and Diana Ross and whoever, it's just it's icing on the cake for a songwriter. Unfortunately, those days are gone. It's not as easy. Everything has to go through a lawyer.
What achievements, though, Barry? What achievements? I mean, look, as you say, with your box set, you've covered it all, and there's still more to come, and you're so highly creative. So just keep on keeping on. Fantastic.
Thank you. It's good to meet you both.
Barry, I just want to ask you now. You're on Bell Records, right? And then you got the opposition Rack. And here we are. You're right there at the Glam Rock, which to me blows my mind. What was it like competing with Rack? Like, did you get on with some of the artists, or did you meet up with them and go, "Don't worry, I've got a new hit coming out. It's going to beat yours"?
Oh no, we met Rack Records, funny enough, was in the next street to Bell Records, literally 150 yards from each other. So it was friendly rivalry, very friendly rivalry. And the guy who owned Rack Records, as you may know, was a guy called Mickey Most. Who was an incredibly good producer. He produced all the early Animals hits. He produced Hot Chocolate. He produced some great records.
Hermits. He did all the Hermits.
Yeah, that's right. So because he was a producer, because I wanted to be a producer, and because I produced all my old early records, I produced all my hits myself. He took a kind of shine to me, and he said, what do you think of this record? And he'd play me the new Sweet record, or he'd play me Susie's record, or he'd play me, something he'd done with Hot Chocolate. And he'd ask for my critique now, which was weird because I was an artist and he was like huge label manager and great producer. But we had a camaraderie. So I always went up to Rack with my records, and he would always come into Rack and he'd say, "What do you think of these guys?" It was great. It was great. They had some big hits, and so did Bell. Amazing independent record companies which don't exist anymore.
Exactly.
Who do you remember walking in on Rack and singing there? Do you remember like Susie Quattro playing? You go, "Hi, Susie."
Susie's the greatest poker player I've ever played with on a plane.
Oh, she didn't tell us that, did she, Plastic?
No. She is one hell of a poker player. I was on a plane journey with her to the States. We happened to be sitting right next to each other when I was going over to record Heatwave. And she said, "Do you want a game of cards?" And I thought she meant, something like Snap or whatever. So she gets out these cards and she says, "Let's play for, peanuts, like $1." And it costing me $250. She was incredible. Yeah.
What a girl. She's wonderful.
Yes,
unbelievable. Now, Barry, I've got to ask you, coming into this scene now, and as I said, your box set is going to be huge out there. And let me tell everybody so they know, it's already out there. You can get it Amazon.co.uk and it's already signed. You can get a signed edition. Tell me about that.
Well, the record company says to me, "Do you want to sign every edition of the album?" And I said, "What do you mean?" Well, they said, "We always get asked if an artist would be so kind as to sign a copy of the album. So I'm asking you, you know, if we brought over the albums, would you sign every one of them? 4 days later, I'd signed every single album, and every album that anyone picks up in terms of physical has got a signed picture of me.
Oh, fabulous.
Barry,
That's
have
it.
you got that with you? Have you got the box set with you? You can show us.
Yeah.
Yes, please.
Just grab it. I want to grab something else too. Just show them.
Well, can you see that?
Excellent. Yeah, that's it. I've pre-ordered actually, Barry, so I'm waiting.
Well, hopefully it will be out, I think, next Friday. Is it this Friday or next Friday?
28.
Yeah, this
Friday. Yeah.
And it's, you know, pre-orders are good, and I'm very happy with the way things are going with it.
Excellent. And Barry, do you think you'll be touring next year? Do you think you'll be doing some, have you got anything penciled in for next year? In the UK?
In fact, we were going to tour late last year, but because of the pandemic, no one got to tour. So I think that's on the cards. The question is that everyone wants to tour now.
Yeah.
Everyone will be touring at the end.
It'll be a bumper year next year. I can feel it.
It will be a bumper year. And all my musicians that were going to tour with me last year, which are my friends like the Rubettes, you know, people like that,
excellent.
they're all on tour.
Yeah.
So we're going to have to find, you know, time to meet up and work with some good musicians and try and get a tour together. I think it'll be a little mini tour. I'm not going to make a big issue of it. Be a few pubs, you know, that I want to do.
Oh, come over to the Eel Pie Club in Twickenham. That's where I am.
Oh, yeah, I'd love to. Yeah. I know it.
But I've got to say, Barry, come to Melbourne, Australia, and I'll take you to a Greek tavern on me, and we'll have a ball. But let me tell you, I just bought James Bond playing cards. So next time you play Susie, James Bond playing cards, right?
Do you think I'll win then? Do you think I'll win? Will they make me win?
Hang on, I want to show you because it's very hard with this screen, right? It's very hard to show you these cards. Look, how great's this, Barry? James Bond playing cards.
Wow.
They are worth it. They're worth a fortune, aren't they?
No, I got them on the net. You can buy them.
He gets everything on the net, Barry. He's always on the net.
Just for you, Barry. Make sure you go and buy them on the net. They're not dear.
All right. Maybe that will help my game. I'll try that.
Next time you see it. Now, what was it like being on the same record label as the Bay City Rollers?
I knew them well.
Tell me a little bit about the Rollers because they were great. How big were they?
They were massive.
Yeah.
They were the biggest act of their day. And they were really nice guys, all kind of what I would say kind of a little wet behind the ears, very innocent, very unaware of how appealing and big they were going to be. And they were kind of sucked up in the great kind of music machine, unfortunately, because they should have done a lot better when they left the Rollers or when the Rollers split up. And I was very upset recently to hear of Les McKeown's demise, because Les was a good guy. I met him about 6-9 months ago on something. Yeah. And, you know, unfortunately they got screwed a little by the business, but what a great band and what a great career they had.
And also
exactly. Now, I just want to read you out a few texts, right?
Yeah.
Just a couple. Good to see you, Barry Blue. I like this one.
Oh, Phil.
Great fun interview. Enjoying the report and the antidotes. Now, let me tell you.
Thanks, Phil. Appreciate it.
I've got to ask you all the links. I can tell you now, www.barryblue.co.uk, twitter.com/Barry_blue. And also, as I said, check out his Facebook, which is www.facebook.com, Barry Blue Music. That's it. Do I do my homework or don't I, Barry?
You do it very well, Plastic.
And I got to tell you, Barry, don't go yet. Just wait. Don't leave us yet, because I want everyone to have a look at the box set one more time.
You wanna
go out there and buy it. Amazon.co.uk for signed editions. Also go to iTunes, you can buy it. Amazon Music, you can buy it. Hear it on Spotify, you can listen to it. Here's the great man, Barry Blue, singer, writer, producer. The man is a legend. We bow down to Barry Blue, and we love you. And don't go yet, Barry. Say goodbye to all your fans.
I will do. Thanks for a great interview, Plastic and Sabine. Lovely to meet up with you guys. And it's great being here. How many miles away am I? 10,000? God knows. But
Barry, I want you to come to Melbourne, Australia, and we'll catch up. And as I said, we're going to a Greek tavern on me. I can't wait. We'll be playing dancing on a Saturday night in my car.
Yes, and he'll pipe up Twickenham.
I'm thinking of coming to Australia early next year. So
Let's come. Let's come. We'll be ready. My wife's going to make a Greek meal for you too.
Great. Love it.
See you all here again on Go Straight to the top of the charts. We just love it.
Go straight to the top of the charts. That's the one.
Yay.
That's it.
Go straight to the top of the charts. Go straight to